PhD. One day you will write books. One day commercials. One day the impossible, you will laugh at the impossible. You will look at the impossible and go, what was I thinking?
Hello, my spoiler alert friends. Thank you guys for joining me. So I wanted to get on here because I was in the scripture this morning, and it was a powerful message for me. So I figured, why not share it? So I was in John 1, and then John 1 led me to Matthew 11. So in John 1, basically he's explaining, who Jesus was. He's the Word made flesh, God among us, all those things. And he goes on to start telling the story of how things happened. And he mentions John the Baptist and how he was baptizing people with water. And then the Pharisees or Sadducees, I can't remember which one, came to him and asked, who are you? Are you the Messiah? Are you Elijah? Who are you to be out here doing this, basically? And John the Baptist was like, I'm not Elijah. I'm not the Messiah. And basically the one who is greater than me is going to be coming, who I'm not even worthy to touch his sandals. He's going to be coming, and he's just here, a voice in the wilderness, or however he says it, proclaiming what's about to come. And so when I read through that, and in particular John 1:21, because that's when he was like, I'm not Elijah, it reminded me, I'm like, wait, isn't he actually Elijah? That's what came to my mind. So then I was like, I'm pretty sure, Jesus addressed this. So it was in Matthew 11, where he was explaining to the crowds who John the Baptist was. So the backdrop here is John the Baptist was in prison, and he had sent his messengers to Jesus to make sure. Basically, he's like, I'm in jail for what I believe is right. Let me make sure this is right, because I'm about to lose my life, and I don't want to lose my life over something that isn't right. And so he sends his messengers. He had his moment of doubt. He sent his messengers out like, hey, Jesus, are you the Messiah, the one who was promised to come? And then Jesus is like, he addresses the crowds and everybody, and he's like, talking about who John the Baptist actually was. And then he goes on to say John the Baptist was in fact Elijah. And it struck me because it's the whole thing there is, oftentimes we think we know who we are, right? We have it in our mind that this is who we are, when we don't actually know. And I think there's peace in the message of John the Baptist didn't think he was Elijah, but God knew who he was. And he was, in fact, Elijah returned. And the reason that's powerful is because it speaks to the point of knowing who you are or what you are is irrelevant to the actual mission. The purpose is to pursue God and his kingdom and righteousness. As long as you're doing that, everything's going to be okay. John the Baptist did not know he was Elijah, so he didn't have some idea of what he needed to do to then be able to fulfill whatever he thought God's will was. God had a plan. God had a purpose for him. And whether John knew it or not, this is who he was, and he proceeded accordingly. And I just thought it was powerful because oftentimes we as people, we're constantly pushing and trying to figure out who we are, when I don't think that that's necessarily the most important piece. So hopefully that gives you guys some encouragement this morning. Maybe it lightens your load like it lightens mine. It's focus on God and his kingdom, and everything will be all right. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.
One thing I know is that I'm going up.